Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and gosh, I wish I had better news to bring you. If you recall, a little while ago I posted on Facebook that we had an SMS staff member who was in the hospital and in critical condition, and she's been there for quite some time. And I asked you to pray, and you did. You all prayed for her, and I appreciate that so much. It made my heart feel better, and everybody here, their heart feel better to see the comments that you posted. But I guess God also heard your prayers, and God thought it was time to take her home. And it is with a profound amount of sadness that I let you know that our sweet Yvette has passed away. Now, you know Yvette from her bows. You would see her samples in my YouTubes, and you would always ask, can you have Yvette? How does she do those bows? Have her do a video on how she makes such perfect bows. And now I really wish I had just put her in front of the camera and said, do it. She did not like the camera at all. But she was tired, and she was ready to go home to God. As hard as that is on us, she's in such a better place now. And I know that people don't believe me. I know some people think that I'm just making it up or I'm not being truthful, but I am. We are a family here. Now that my parents are gone, I don't have much of a family. Really, it's just Michael and my boys. So Yvette and Elena and Michelle and Claire and Tracy and Kim and Leslie and B and Sharon. I don't even know if I said Sharon already. All of these people who work here, they've become my family. We've become each other's family. We're the family we didn't have and didn't know we wanted, but sure are glad we have them now. So I just announced to the SMS crew that Yvette has passed away, and they're taking it the way I took it, which is disbelief and hurt and sadness. But she was the best. And she sat in the same chair every day, and she would sit there and just make pretty things. And then I would look at what she was working on, and I'd say, could you just change this to that and move that over there? And and she would look at me, and without any hesitation, she would say, you're a brat. And she could do that because I had to be respectful of my elders, and she has a daughter that's just about my age, Renee, and even though she technically was my employee, let's be clear, Yvette had no problem looking at me and saying, other people's children, Yvette, she started here as a customer, and she would come in for class, and she was a nurse in the cath lab for, 30 plus years. And she finally had to retire. They made her retire because of her age. Like she was old. Oh my goodness, no, not at all. And so she would come in here for class, and Yvette subscribed to the concept that if one is good, all of them are better. So she couldn't just have one color of a dye or an ink, or she had to have it all. So when she would come in for class, it was like, oh, Yvette's here. It's gonna be a good day today. and then when I was taking over the second store, which is now the main store, because we broke through a wall and added to the store. We really are a mom and pop shop. Truly, we are. I know some of you just don't believe me on that, but come visit us and you'll see. And I couldn't afford to buy fixtures for the store. You know, the gondolas that have all the paper in them, and I just couldn't afford to do it. We just don't have that kind of budget. So there was another store, unfortunately, going out of business. I think it was the Red Bee at that time. And I went down and I bought all of these mix-matched fixtures, different colors, the gondolas that when you walk in, all the product is hung on, and me being me, I could not have mismatched fixtures in my store. It all has to look uniform. I am an A-type personality. And Yvette came in to do some shopping, and I was telling her that I was going to be spending my Christmas holidays into New Year's painting the fixtures. And they're big. They're 4 foot. They're over almost 4.5 foot wide by 5 foot tall and slat wall. And I had to do 10 of them. And she said, "Oh, I'm retired now. I've got nothing better to do. Do you want me to come in and help you?" Yes. So over that Christmas holiday and into the new year, Yvette showed up and she helped paint. And we painted them all white. And we sat there, and it was the first time we really got to know each other, because before she was a customer coming in, and we'd talk, and I knew about her kids, Robbie and Renee, and I mean, but this is 8 hours of painting. You really get to know somebody well. And then afterwards, she said, "Well, do you need help at the shop?" And I'm like, "Oh, do I ever?" And she would come in and she would volunteer. And she made the most beautiful samples ever. You all have seen them. You all know that. So I really wanted Yvette to work for me. And she's like, "No, I just retired." And I said, "Oh, but Yvette, think about it. 2 words. Employee discount." And with that, Yvette came to work for me. "Yvette, you can have your supplies at cost. Employee discount." And so for 3 days a week, for years, Yvette worked here. We will miss her. I'm sure you will miss her. She was wonderful and honest and friendly, and she would do anything you needed. She would be there for you. She was my extended family, the family I didn't have but so desperately needed. And she was there. She was there for Claire when Claire was going through the loss of her husband. She was just there. She's a good person and a good friend. And she didn't understand how much you all loved her. She said, "They've never met me." I said, "But they have met you, Yvette. They've met you through the beautiful things that you make. They know you." And you would send emails or cards to her, or when you called and Yvette would answer the phone, "Is this the Yvette?" And she would giggle. "Yes." So I can't thank you enough for making her part of your family and showing her the same love that we have for her and appreciating her for all that she is. We are going to miss her. My heart is... I just don't know how many pieces there's left to break. So every now and then you would see Yvette on one of my videos, my Facebook videos, if you follow us on Facebook, and I would swing the camera and she'd be sitting in her chair working on something, and she'd give me the good grief look, almost roll her eyes. I mean, truly roll her eyes. Now, she was 70 plus years old, but she could roll them with the best 16-year-old you've ever seen. And I would say, "Okay, Yvette, say hello, Yvette." And she would say, "Hello, Yvette," and kind of like the George Burns and Gracie Allen. And so I guess it's time for us to say goodbye, Yvette. We're going to say goodbye to Yvette. But that doesn't mean we won't see you again. And we love you. So if you're a local peep and you come into the store, please understand. We will be closed sometime next week, I'm sure, for the service. We have to. It is what we do. It is who I am and who my staff is. We will be there to honor her. And if you're an online peep, thank you for making her feel so loved. She deserved it. All right, Yvette. Yvette, say goodbye. Goodbye.